Picture a ticking clock. Every single second, time is passing. Your energy is being spent. But where is it actually taking you? Welcome to this explainer. Today we are diving deep into the hidden architecture of wealth. We're going to break down the psychological and really the geometric barriers that keep most of us from ever reaching true financial freedom.
Most people spend their entire lives climbing a ladder that just isn't leaning against a wall. It's this grueling, exhausting climb. We work harder, earn more, put in all that crazy overtime, and yet, if you zoom out, we stay exactly where we started. The climb just becomes this massive illusion of progress. So let's look at Section 1, the invisible ceiling. What actually stops our upward momentum? Well, it's absolutely crucial to understand that this barrier isn't built by a lack of effort. Not at all. It's actually built by the geometry of how we think about money. Imagine a flat line moving across a chart, forever, never rising, never dipping. A lot of high earners are trapped right there. Their mental geometry basically dictates that every single dollar earned is just a dollar to be traded away. Which brings us to Section 2, the spending trap. See, society programs us to be consumers way before we ever learn to be owners. The sequence usually goes exactly like this. Step 1, you earn a raise. Awesome, right? But step 2, that raise is instantly met with a new expense. Suddenly, your perfectly fine car needs an upgrade because, well, your neighbor just rolled up in a brand new one. Then step 3, your baseline lifestyle just expands to swallow that new income entirely. And finally, step 4, you remain financially stuck. The city lights stay on, the money keeps flowing, but your actual personal wealth, it stays exactly the same.
We call this phenomenon lifestyle inflation. It's essentially a psychological treadmill uniquely designed to move faster the harder you run. It makes real financial progress feel like a complete mirage because every bit of wealth is constantly being chipped away by brand new expenses. Now let's shift to Section 3, silent thieves of wealth. Because that treadmill isn't the only thing working against you. Your retained wealth is actively being squeezed by these invisible forces that constantly press down on whatever money you do manage to keep. On one side, you've got inflation, slowly eroding the purchasing power of your time. And on the other side, high interest debt. It presses down like a massive concrete block, actively stealing your future before you've even had the chance to live it. Let's flip the script in Section 4, the magic of compounding. If those previous forces were working against you, this geometry is the exact opposite. Now, compound interest is a concept most of us understand intellectually, sure, but we rarely feel it emotionally. It is, quite literally, the only force in the universe that turns time into a physical asset. With this new geometry, it's not about how frantically you work, it's about the time you allow your money to do the heavy lifting for you. When we look at a growth timeline, you really see how this plays out. In year 1, you're basically just planting a seed. By year 10, the growth is incredibly slow. Almost imperceptible. It genuinely feels like nothing is happening. But by year 20, the growth accelerates dramatically into this massive compounding structure. Those first 10 years absolutely test your patience. But the last 10 years, that's where the exponential magic happens. This requires a mental shift, which we cover in Section 5, the owner mindset. To actually harness that magic, you have to fundamentally shift who you are. Look at the contrast here. The consumer mindset is entirely focused on the price tag of a purchase. But the owner mindset, that focuses on the balance sheet. Truly wealthy people don't just buy things, they buy assets, like stocks or real estate. And eventually, the revenue from those assets buys things for them. It is a complete inversion of how society teaches us to operate. You absolutely have to start treating money not just as, permission to buy a new phone or book a vacation, but as physical seeds with immense future potential. Every single dollar is a seed, and you have a choice. You can either eat the seed today for a fleeting moment of satisfaction, or you can choose to plant a massive forest for tomorrow. Which leads us to our final part, Section 6, accumulating freedom. When you stop acting like a consumer and start thinking in terms of exponential geometry, you arrive at the philosophical foundation of all this. Wealth is the quiet accumulation of freedom. Let that sink in for a second. It's not loud, it's not flashy cars or designer clothes. It is a solid, unshakable foundation built over time. Because what are you actually buying when you build that quiet wealth? You're buying leverage. You are buying the ultimate power to say no to the things that just don't matter. Bad jobs, toxic situations, unnecessary stressors. all so that you can finally say yes to the life you actually want to live. Look, the truth is, most people will never be rich. Not because they aren't smart, and definitely not because they don't work hard, but because they're terrified of the silence of the long term. They crave the instant gratification of the spending trap. But for those of you who understand these geometric barriers, who see that invisible ceiling and choose to harness compound interest, the math is completely on your side. So I'll leave you with this final thought to take away from our time together today. When you look at the dollars in your bank account right now, ask yourself, will you eat your seeds today or will you plant a forest for tomorrow? The geometry of your future depends entirely on your answer. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.